For this tutorial I'm going to be doing an adaptation of pattern 8779 to work it as chevrons. If you prefer to work a traditional 1-2 style, please go here or check out the link in the description. So you begin this pattern from a chevron point, and you can start with a teardrop loop or go straight into your knotting and do the tapering at the end if you prefer. Alternately, you could convert a straight edge pattern to a chevron point before beginning this bracelet in chevron style. When worked as chevrons, this is a 6-row repeat pattern. So once you've got your threads in order, you want to start with thread number 1 and do 4 forward knots. So once you've done that, you've moved this one into the centre position, and then you want to go to thread number 10 and do 4 backward knots. And once both these threads are together in the centre, you can do them together in a forward knot. For row number 2, you want to start with the thread that is now in position 1, and you want to do 2 forward knots. A forward backward knot, and a backward knot. Then you want to take the thread in position 10 and do 2 backward knots. A backward forward knot, and a forward knot. And in the centre, you want to knot these together in a forward knot. For row 3, you want to take the thread in position 1 and do a forward backward knot. And then a backward knot. And then a backward forward knot. And then a forward knot. And then with thread 10, you want to do a backward forward knot, a forward knot, a forward backward knot, and a backward knot. And in the centre, you can knot these together in a forward knot. For row 4, you want to start with thread number 1, you want to do a backward forward knot, a forward knot, a forward backward knot, and a backward knot. Then with thread 10, you want to do a forward backward knot, a backward knot, a backward forward knot, a forward knot, and once you've got your 2 threads in the centre, do a forward knot. For row 5, you want to start with thread number 1 and you want to do a forward backward knot, a backward knot, a backward forward knot, and a forward knot. Then at the other side with thread 10, you want to do a backward forward knot, a backward knot, a forward backward knot, and a backward knot. And once they're both in the centre, you can do a forward knot. For row 6, you want to start with thread 1 and you want to do a backward forward knot, and then 3 forward knots. And at the other side, starting with thread 10, you want to do a forward backward knot, and then 3 backward knots. And once both your threads are in the centre, you can do a forward knot. And you want to keep repeating these 6 rows all the way down until you've got the bracelet as long as you want it to be.
I've been stuck now, it feels like for ages. It's hard living these days. All the choices from the global solutions, driving away from all the institutions. I've seen it on TV, heard it on the radio. They all need to stop. The rules of the new generation, passing our nation to nation. You can't stop the new sensation. It's like the globalization. I know you want it bad. You want it like it was the thing you had. I know you.
And when you've finished, you should end up with something that looks like this. So I began with a loop, so I finished with 2 braided tie-ons, but you could do whichever fastenings you prefer. And that is your completed friendship bracelet.